This is Monkey World in Dorset, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. Today on Monkey Life, Chimps Ben and Pip move out of the nursery, but they give wildlife vet John Lewis the runaround when he tries to sedate them.
Generally, if you're patient enough, they'll make a mistake.
Orang-utan Kai's got far too much energy. And it's time for the male Chilean capuchins to move in together, and Alison's worried.
The males are far more dangerous than the females. They've got good canine teeth, and if they fight, they can cause themselves a lot of harm.
Monkey World is home to 60 chimpanzees. They're split into 4 groups. One of which is a dedicated nursery, where today is a big day for Chimps Ben and Pip. It's time for them to move on to an adult group.
They had to be separated first thing so we can take food and water away for anaesthesia and all that sort of stuff. So they're just waiting in the house now for their move. They're now all ready to go and live with Hananya's group. So that's our next step today, when I get out of hospital. The nursery, by its definition, is for babies, and they've moved on to junior school now.
The chimpanzee nursery is a place for learning. It's a place where young chimps are taught the social skills they need to prepare them for life in an adult group. And the park's resident foster mum, Sally, is the teacher. She's helped raise 32 chimps, including Ben and Pip. But Jeremy thinks these days Sally may prefer to relax and put her feet up.
Yeah, I think Sally's definitely evolved out of this mumsy thing. Her reputation is so idyllic and sweet and everything else, but nobody's told her about it yet. And for a while, she was totally that. But now she's been there, done that. Probably with middle age, she's getting a bit more selfish. Being selfish has been legitimate. I will pick and choose. No, it's all of them now. That's just Sally, isn't it? All the sweets. Right.
The nursery isn't all about hard work. There's a lot of playing to do too. And Jeremy's had a great idea. He's giving them tubes filled with hidden treats. This is sure to make for a brilliant playtime.
We try our best. We try our best to keep you entertained.
But there's a problem. Apparently, beating up Jeremy's more fun than messing around with his tubes.
Is this necessary? I bring you all these toys in, and you just want to harass me. That's very clever. That's very clever. Glad to have a purpose in life, isn't it? Maypole or something.
Jeremy's got a job to do, though. He's a professional.
Hey, look, I'm trying to do a serious conversation here.
He's doing his best, but the chimps just aren't helping.
Picture has to be, and although we like each other, there's an awful lot to learn. And you can change from liking somebody to hating them. I think it's going to be a very long, slow process getting Brian. Impossible to quantify whether it is or isn't or anything, but they can naturally separate. But having said that, Arthur and Jess...
Eventually, Jeremy does manage to string a whole sentence together.
You know, it makes them able to multi-function socially.
Well, nearly.
No, I'm not going in the pond. You're going in the pond. Right, you scabby lot. I'm going to go and get Ben and Pip and put them in a box. OK? Go and do some work. That's what this is all about.
And while Jeremy battles his way out of the enclosure, outside the nursery, wildlife vet John Lewis is preparing the sedative to move Ben and Pip. Even though they're only moving next door, Ben and Pip are too big to be carried, so they're going to need a light sedation, and John is keen to get things going.
We're going to move 2, hopefully relatively quickly, which may work. And we actually need to do these both at the same time because they're going into one den. We want them both to come round together. It's very difficult if you have one come round and then you go back and get the second one and then find when you get to the den, you've got one conscious chimp in a den into which you want to put an unconscious chimp. That doesn't really work.
Ben and Pip were both born at the park, but they were rejected by their mums. They've grown up together, so they share a close bond. And because of this, the team want them to stay together. The park has decided that Hananya's group will be the best place for them.
It's always nice, of course, when animals from Sally's group join Hananya's. I think it's nice for the animals because the same team of primate care staff work both houses, so at least they have the consistency of the staff. The proximity of the enclosures means that once they go outside, they can get their bearings. They know that they've only moved so many metres across the park. They can still see the old nursery that they used to live in. It's a lovely, fun, young group for Ben and Pip to spend the next period of their lives in.
Jeremy's made it out of the nursery in one piece, and now it's full steam ahead to get Ben and Pip safely moved next door.
So if you do the one in front of you first,
OK.
probably, and then
go.
You might need to get into that room to get the other one if necessary.
Right. Should we have a go? So which one have I got?
That was Ben.
John manages to blowpipe Ben relatively quickly. But now Pip knows what's happening, she's not going to make it easy for John.
Well, it's all right. Come on, it's only blowpipe.
That's how you never hurt no one.
Generally, if you're patient enough, they'll make a mistake, and that's really what we bank on. Even if at the end of the day we have to bring in another blowpipe to confuse them, they'll make a mistake.
And later, time is ticking, so will John finally get the better of Pip?
Didn't think a pistol would have been better, actually.
And there's a capuchin standoff when two alpha males go head-to-head, Tom and Gorillon.
Tom's the main man, but he's not a dictator. It's like being main man in the kindergarten. It's not difficult.
Over in Gordon's orangutan group, 2-year-old Kai is full of energy. Orangutans have the longest childhood of the great apes, and young Kai spends the better part of every day playing. He's forever thinking up new games and fun things to do. And today, he's decided it would be fun to beat up 11-year-old Gordon. Gordon's twice his size and weight, so the best approach has got to be an ambush. But Gordon easily deals with Kai's first attack. Kai's not giving up though. He's going to beat up Gordon if it takes him all day. He tries wrestling, rolling around on the ground, attacking him from every angle. They even go in for a bit of hair pulling. Kai's not getting anywhere with his plan, but does it put him off? No way. It looks like this particular play fight is going to go on and on. Back at the chimp nursery, Pip is still managing to avoid Vet John's blowpipe. But John has many years' experience in sedating chimps, and he will outsmart her.
I've still got blowpipe.
And, just as John predicted, Pip makes her mistake. She's positioned herself perfectly for John to take his shot.
Don't think she had all of that, but it was not a bad shot.
It'll be good for Ben and Pip to remain living in a mixed-sex group. As both were born in Hananya's troop, bringing them back here seems the most natural option.
It's always nice to get animals into mixed-sex groups if you can achieve that. And in addition to that, both of their mothers live in Hananya's group. Ben's mother is Peggy and Pip's mother is Cherry. We're not sure, of course, if their mothers will recognise them, but that will be an interesting component in the introductions.
Ben's mum, Peggy, is keeping a close eye on proceedings. But before she can meet her son, Ben and Pip need to recover from their anaesthetic and meet some younger members of the troop. At Monkey World, it's time for the male capuchins from the Chilean laboratory to take their first steps into their new home.
That's the goal for today. Young lads and grandpas, and fingers crossed really, because the males are far more dangerous than the females. They've got good canine teeth, and if they fight, they can cause themselves a lot of harm.
Just like the female capuchins, life in the lab has left the 22 males with psychological scars.
Little bit more concerned about them because a few of them actually look a bit nuts, quite frankly. They're sort of grabbing themselves and they just don't seem very responsive. So I'm not as hopeful about these young lads.
Even though the capuchins have lived the majority of their lives in solitary confinement, they are social animals and should live together. But it's not going to be easy.
You have to remember, they've lived in these cages all of their lives, and when they are removed from the boxes, it generally meant a procedure of some sort. So coming out of their small boxes, as nice as it sounds, can often be a bit frightening for some of these guys that are institutionalized.
But it seems that the boys are eager to get out of their boxes. 21 of them are now in their new home, and all is calm. Their new surroundings are distracting them from picking on each other. The last male to join the group is 30-year-old Gorillon. Amazingly, despite having no physical contact with the others in the lab in Chile, Gorillon became the dominant male. Nobody knows quite how this happened. And now the team are keen that Gorillon meets the other dominant male at the park, 23-year-old Tom. Tom is one of the park's 4 original capuchins. He was rescued from the British pet trade, and although his friends TJ and Gizmo will join the group too, he's going in first. And the team suspects that when Tom joins a proper capuchin family group, his status will drop.
Tom's the main man, but he's not a dictator. He's only the main man because he's bigger than anybody else, and Gizmo's shot away. TJ's a little boy. I mean, it's like being main man in the kindergarten. It's not difficult.
Tom's life in the kindergarten is over. He's about to be confronted with 22 adult males.
It's a lot to sink in for a little brain like Tom's.
Gorillon can immediately tell that Tom is a capuchin of high status, and it seems that Tom can sense the same of Gorillon. The pair are locked in an alpha male standoff. But Tom has always been a gentle leader. He doesn't want to fight, so he bravely walks past the males around him.
So he very cautiously walked past Gorillon.
Gorillon doesn't quite know what to make of this, and it's left Tom feeling rather confused too. But one of the males, Sean, welcomes Tom into the group. Despite the slight tension between the alpha males, this meeting is going very well. But there can only be one boss, so now it's up to Tom and Gorillon to decide which one of them it will be. But right here, right now, the Monkey World team can congratulate themselves on a job well done.
Finished with everybody from Chile, all grouped, 88 monkeys all together, true success, but it's early days yet, so we won't sort of say this is it, it's done, because something might happen, the group might split apart, but we've got all 88 socialized now. Would have never believed it. was hopeful but would have never believed it. And once they come back to the fact, really pleased that we all agreed to give everybody a chance, because otherwise all of these guys would be on the end of the needle being put to sleep if we had left them. So everybody's got a home and everybody's got a family now, and we just have to hope that it sticks together in happy families hereafter.
Later, can Ben and Pip cope with the challenge of moving in with the adults?
Ben's a little boy, so he hasn't got much of a brain, but that little bit he's got is giving him an edge.
Over in Hananya's group, they're outside enjoying the sunshine. Chimpanzees love to play, and it's a great way to unwind, relax, and make friends. But life in this group hasn't always been so much fun. Over the last couple of years, they've had a lot to deal with. When Hananya became their new leader, he was only 12 years old, and it took him a while to settle into his role. This meant the group was extremely unruly. And the males would often pick on the females. But not anymore. These days, Hananya's group definitely know that he's in charge. Hananya's right-hand man is Tico. As second in command, it's his job to back Hananya up if he needs it. But today, there's no need. Everybody's behaving themselves and everybody's just having fun. Which means that Hananya and Tico can clock off and join in. This is going to be Ben and Pip's new home, and hopefully the pair will soon be outside having fun with their new group. But first they need to get used to their inside space and meet a select few from the troop. In the nursery, the only adult chimps were Sally and Lulu. But here at Hananya's, Ben and Pip will be living with 18 adults.
They're obviously going to be nervous, maybe a level of excitement. Obviously, some uncertainty is there. So as soon as you can get some potential friends and allies in with them and form a small subgroup around the two new animals, the better.
And first to meet Ben and Pip will be 3 females. Valerie, Tootie, and Johnny. Valerie's a very friendly chimp, so the team are confident she's a good choice. Tootie and Johnny used to live in the chimp nursery with Ben and Pip, so everybody hopes they'll remember one another. And they do. The 6-year-olds make an immediate beeline for their old pal, Tootie. They haven't seen each other for 3 years, but just like humans, chimps form strong friendships, and it seems this friendship is firmly back on track. And when Johnny's let in, Pip immediately heads straight over to say hi. The girls haven't seen one another for 2 years. It looks like they've got a lot of catching up to do. While Pip is meeting old friends, Ben has made a new one. He's hanging out with Valerie, and the pair have hit it off straight away. Valerie's gentle nature and Ben's happy-go-lucky outlook on life make them a perfect match. This meeting couldn't be going any better, and it's nice to see that Ben and Pip are relaxed enough to have fun without clinging to one another for comfort.
They will get new allegiances and new friends and everything, but I can't see that they won't always be friends, at least for the foreseeable future. So they've always got that to go back to. And, you know, Pip's a little girl, so she's more adventurous. Ben's a little boy, so he hasn't got much of a brain, but that little bit he's got is giving him an edge. It's
crucial that Ben and Pip make friends before they meet more dominant individuals. And for Ben, being a boy means his integration process could be more difficult. His biggest challenge will be coming face to face with alpha male Hananya. Hananya could see Ben as a potential threat and not want him in his group. But as Ben is still relatively young, the team hopes he will be accepted.
Obviously, Ben and Pip have lost their baby status, but they still will seem very small and cute and appealing to the other animals in Hananya's group. So we're hoping they're still young enough that they won't be seen as a threat and that the other animals will have a protective element there when they meet Ben and Pip for the first time.
For now, Ben and Pip can relax with old friends and new friends. But next time, Ben's in for a nasty shock when he meets alpha male Hananya.
He can be quite temperamental, Hananya. If he had thrown him around a bit, obviously that would have been preferable to actually making contact and biting Ben.
Good boy.
Orangutan Xiao Kuai is struggling to carry her ever-growing son, Kai. And as Kai grows up, the park gets ready to welcome another orang into the world.
There's little swellings there say that she's pregnant, and they really are foolproof. 100%. She's got the swellings, she's pregnant.